While he may not have shed any pounds to play Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale is famous for being one of a handful of actors able and willing to undergo extreme changes to their body just to play a role more completely. From his work as Michael Burry in The Big Short to his rendition of controversial US politician Dick Cheney in Vice, many of Bale's finest hours on the screen have been spent unrecognizable, inhabiting the skins of other men. Therefore, out of reverent curiosity, we're unpacking how Christian Bale approaches the roles that would make other actors flee. Ford v Ferrari is one of those films that asks a lot of its actors, and Christian Bale didn't dodge any bullets when he accepted the role of veteran racer Ken Miles. While the actor himself is famous for losing weight or gaining muscle, according to the movie's stunt director Robert Nagel, the first thing Bale had to do to prepare was attend driving school. Bale already knew how to drive, of course, otherwise they wouldn't have let him near the Batmobile, but Nagel wanted the star to drill for a full week of 7-hour days to ensure that Bale's Ken Miles would seem authentic behind the wheel. Apparently, Bale passed through the training with flying colors, and as a result, Nagel felt comfortable actually letting the actor drive for some of the flick's most memorable moments. Former US Vice President Dick Cheney is a lot. Trying to play the man at all would be a challenge, but Bale took the test in stride, donning the signature punch and unsettling, bordering on nefarious manner of speech of the politician for 2018's Vice. Bale trained hard to conjure up believable facial expressions and the perfect voice, but much more impressive was his willingness to gain weight for the role. Even though Adam McKay, the director whom Bale worked with on The Big Short a few years earlier, informed the actor that actually gaining weight might not be necessary due to the existence of advanced prosthetics, but the star wouldn't hear of it. Instead, our former Batman piled on about 40 pounds in all to play one of the most unpopular politicians in America. Apparently, his performance ended up infuriating the man himself, who, according to various interviews, contacted a mutual friend of his and Bale's to insult the star on his behalf. Real classy, Dick. In order to play government agent extraordinaire Melvin Purvis in the 2009 movie Public Enemies, Christian Bale sought out preparatory help from someone well outside of the Hollywood crowd. The associate professor of art at Boston University by the name of Alston Purvis. Yep, Bale met up with the son of the aforementioned lawman par excellence over morning coffee on February 29, 2008 to discuss the work, life, and characterization of Alston's father. According to Alston, though, there's a neat twist. The scholar and star met at 9:30 a.m. on the dot that morning in late February. Their meeting occurring by coincidence precisely 48 years to the minute after the real-life Melvin's death. Spooky. The Big Short, Adam McKay's strange, glorious, and, dare I say, educational movie exploring the housing collapse and associated financial crisis of 2008, included Bale as one of the cast's leading stars. This time around, though, the actor was tapped to play a young Michael Burry, the very real and very much still alive and kicking investor who was one of the only folks prescient enough to see the impending collapse coming down the pipeline, and made a killing off of it. While Burry wasn't one of Bale's, whoops, I need to completely change the shape of my body roles, both the character in the film and the genuine person are afflicted with somewhat severe OCD, which they use their fascination and fluency with numbers to counteract, making the part a tough one to nail down. One portion of the actor's prep consisted of the real-life Burry also meeting with Bale like Alston Purvis had, and the pair talked for 9 hours straight, with each man finding the conversation illuminating. Apparently, this long chat helped Bale walk away with a more sympathetic view of Burry, who, while he profited handsomely off the collapse of the US economy, also experienced extreme remorse upon realizing just how bad things were going to get and that he would be unable to stop it all from tumbling down. Yeesh. Oh, on a lighter note, Bale also learned to play the drums for the role in about 2 weeks, just to bring honesty to the scenes where Burry is shown to play the instrument. Heavy metal mostly, curiously, he really liked those double bass pedals, in order to unwind. This habit is 100% true to life according to the real Burry, who used to listen to music in his headphones non-stop while he worked. Playing former addict and expert Boston area pugilist Dicky Eklund, colloquially referred to in his short-lived heyday as the Pride of Lowell, had to have been a challenging shift for Bale. But he pulled it off to the tune of an Academy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor when The Fighter was nominated back in 2010. Not only did the star have to, once again, lose a bunch of weight in order to play Dicky, he also needed to spend countless hours learning the movements, mannerisms, and vocal tics to portray the complex psychology of Eklund.
And they're gonna pay us 20 grand.
17.
All right, 17.5.
The crack-addled older brother who is still trying his best to be good to his family, but is failing with increasing frequency. The result is a performance all at once spellbinding, sympathetic, and utterly harrowing. Really, really impressive stuff. It's worth mentioning here that nailing the regional accents and knowing how to differentiate between a Boston accent and a Lowell or Arlington accent is really tough. There is a difference, trust me, and it's important, but Bale navigates it with grace despite not being born and raised in Beantown. A lot of folks have played Jesus of Nazareth. John Legend, Willem Dafoe, Jim Caviezel, and Ewan McGregor, to name a few. So is Christian Bale, though it's certainly far from his most famous role. A lot of folks don't know that Bale played the protagonist of the New Testament way back in 1999 when he starred in a truly, really, thoroughly mediocre made-for-TV movie called Mary, Mother of Jesus, which told the story of the divinely entangled former carpenter through the eyes of his mother, the Virgin Mary. To be frank, there's not a lot out there about how Bale got ready to play the character, whether he focused on Jesus as a historical figure, the leader of a subversive secret sect of anti-Roman activists, versus trying to portray Jesus as the Bible depicts him, the indisputable Son of God provided to the world on pain of death to complete a literal mission from God in order to liberate the human race from sin, but I have to imagine Bale did a little of both. Mary, Mother of Jesus may be an entirely meh film, but there's no doubt in my mind that an actor as facile and dedicated as the star of The Machinist still would have had his work cut out for him. Once again summoned to serve at the knee of the Lord, Bale was cast as the bearded prophet, multi-decade thru-hiker, and Red Sea tidal anomaly Moses in 2014's Exodus, Gods and Kings. Further in his career than when he was cast as Jesus, Bale recounted in an interview with CBS that his preparation for the character of Moses hinged on his understanding of the character as a freedom fighter for the Hebrews, but a terrorist in terms of the Egyptian Empire. And he said that he was struck by just how human the person behind the scripture felt once he started diving into the subject. Bale's willingness to engage with the complex history of one of the Abrahamic faith's most nuanced patriarchs is a testament, no pun intended, to the actor's versatility and trenchant desire to bring an enduring humanity to each role that he is asked to play. Okay, I admit it, including Christian Bale as John Rolfe from 2005's retelling of the Pocahontas story might be a stretch. Sure, John Rolfe was a very real flesh and bone person, and Bale excels wherever and whenever he's asked to bring his considerable talents to bear. It is worth noting that a lot of the quality in Bale's performance is a gift given to him by his frequent scene partner and absurdly skilled actress, Q'orianka Kilcher. Kilcher, who was only 14 when she was brought onto the project to play Pocahontas, delivered an utterly arresting performance, which in turn let Bale shine in his role as Rolfe. While this isn't technically prep that Bale himself did, I think sometimes it's important that we take a step back from the sheen of even the most justifiably lauded celebrity and spend some time recognizing the actors, techies, and crew who make the standout showings of A-listers look so good. You know, for someone who's managed to play Dick Cheney, a Depression-era lawman, literal Jesus of Nazareth, actual Batman, a Wall Street-styled serial killer, and one time a Dickensian paperboy with leftist sympathies and a cowboy fetish, it is no wonder that Christian Bale has honed such a deliberate approach to transforming himself into his characters.